to something because they try to shut me up. But anyway, what we've been seeing is all setting people up for Project Bluebeam. Now, I understand that there's a lot of people out there that are utterly convinced that they had encounters with aliens, and they would be 100% right, but it's not real. By which I mean, like when I studied the Skinwalker Ranch, when I studied Ziggy Adamski and PC Godfrey and all of that, because there's a lot of the stuff that happens around here in the Yorkshire, Lancashire kind of area. But then we've got all the Air Force and Army bases and the spy bases and all that around here as well. And so what people have to remember is that Nikola Tesla invented the direct energy weapon in 1898, I think it was, and they've been experimenting with the direct energy weapon ever since. You know, like when he got murdered, it was Donald Trump's uncle who was working for the FBI who came and took all the papers from his room and all of that. And now, you know, they put all of this stuff in the 5G towers, and they use the Schumann resonance and Starlink and, you know, all the satellites and that, the Black Knight satellite, for example, they use all that kind of technology to tell people what to think and what to see. And they can, you know, it's all documented. I've got it all there on my social media. The CIA and that, even the World Economic Forum, they've all admitted that they have technology that can literally plant thoughts in people's heads. If you're susceptible to the Schumann resonance, you're susceptible to the paranormal and perceived possessions, addictions, fetishes, self-harming, depression, that sort of thing. If you are susceptible, one of the things that will make you susceptible is the vaccines, you know, the COVID vaccines and that, because they put the stuff in the vaccine so that they can use electromagnetic frequencies and that to tell it what to do. If you wear their magic watches and magic rings and that, they do all of that to your mind and body through your Wi-Fi, through your broadband, through your phone, through your TV shows, through your everything that can be affected by the Schumann resonance. So it's very easy for them to make you think that you're having these experiences. Now, I was just watching a case on Scary Mysteries with a guy up in Scotland in the 70s. And the one thing you need to look out for is that all the people who are witnesses to these things, they're always credible. Pilots, security guards, in the military, that sort of thing, where people, they're chosen because they're known to be upright, you know, upstanding citizens, people that whose credibility you really wouldn't question. They're not the sort of people who would come out with that sort of thing. They're always the witnesses to these experiments. And they have been experimenting using the direct energy weapons and all of that, like the Skinwalker Ranch is a prime example. They threw the whole kit and caboodle at that family and made them think all sorts of things. Now, with this case up in Scotland, I'll put a link in the description box. He was talking about a sphere in the field where these two round spheres came out and clamped on either side of his legs and lifted him up off the ground. And the first thing I thought was, that sounds like they were working with magnets, you know, working with electromagnetism to see if they could use it to move bodies around. There's a case that I was talking about on one of my little podcasts about a woman who saw, like, you know, the little green men in her backyard, and she went into her kitchen and she was floating around in that as well. And I was saying then, you know, they have the technology to do that sort of thing now. And they've been testing it since like before World War Two, because they want to pull off Project Bluebeam, which basically you can look into Project Bluebeam all you like, but it's pretty much that, you know, they're going to fake an alien invasion and cart people off to their doom. And if you go off with the aliens, you're never going to come back, because obviously if we're talking about the Illuminati and Baphomet and Baal and Molech and all that, you know about the organ harvesting, and you know why they want to get their hands on Indigenous people and children and blah blah blah, you know, because they're cannibals, the whole McDonald's thing, because they really truly believe, people like Elon Musk and Klaus Schwab and all that, really honestly truly believe that they are aliens, and they think that they're part of some ancient Egyptian cult. But the thing was, my ancestors didn't think they were aliens. They were trying to explain who it was they were communicating with. Thoth or Hoth, you know, the god Hoth. He knew that we were communicating with Atom, with the atomic conscious forces of the universe and all of that, but it was trying to put that into a language that people would understand, and it got completely misinterpreted. They even thought that the sun was a man when the sun isn't. The sun is a woman. You know, the masculine is the moon and the feminine is the sun. So then, like, I've had to come along to be their ancestor to try and fix everything and correct the dynamic. The reason why we made our heads big, you know, with the elongated craniums and that, it isn't because we were aliens, and it's not because we thought we were aliens. It's because we thought that if we had bigger heads, we'd have bigger brains, and if we had bigger brains, we'd be able to have better communication with whoever it was we were talking to out there, because we knew we were talking to someone, but we weren't quite smart enough to figure it out. They knew the pineal gland, the all-seeing eye, had something to do with it, but they thought if they made their brains bigger, they'd make the pineal gland bigger, and then they would be able to open the eye to the universe and step right through, which is why they do that whole, well, when I die, I'm going to take this with me, and I'm going to take that with me, and, you know, go down the river Styx, and I have to be judged to make sure, you know, passing through the eye of a needle, a camel passing through the eye of a needle, a camel has more chance of passing through the eye of a needle than a rich man, or whatever it is, you know. It's that, passing through the eye of the needle. It's stepping through the veil between life and death, you know, this life and the afterlife. You have to pass through the eye of the needle, which is technically a place in Bethlehem, I believe, where the camels used to pass through with all the merchant stuff. They were like these teeny tiny little holes in the wall of the city going in and out of the city. A camel has more chance of passing through the eye of a needle than a rich man has passing through the gates of heaven, or something like that. It's basically that. So, you know, Christianity and that took all of this stuff and turned it into their own thing. But where the Illuminati, the enlightened ones, got the idea from, that we were aliens and stuff, is just they completely misunderstood everything. You know, like they think that we had these handbags. I'm just sitting there saying to my ancestors, like, oh my God, they think they're handbags, and they're battery generator power packs. My ancestors built the pyramids using sound. We knew energy in that. The thing was is that Nikola Tesla wasn't given the keys to be able to unlock the secrets of the pyramids, but I was, because I'm Egyptian. Like, my ancestors are Egyptian. I'm, you know, from royal Egyptian bloodline, high priest bloodline and all that. So I'm the house of Al Rashid. So I've got the keys. He didn't have the keys, so he wasn't quite able to finish off what he knew he was trying to get to when it came to like energy and sound and frequency and all that. But after they killed him, and took all his stuff. They turned it into what they have now, and they've used it to control the minds of people. So all these random shootings and all these alien sightings between the AI and the drones and all of that, they're messing with people's heads, and they have been for a long, long time, because they need to know what it is they can get away with, just like COVID, just like the vaccines in that. All you plug into their little medical phones and rings and that sort of thing, and they're going to be able to turn your heart on and off, shut your brain on and off, especially if you've had the vaccines and like you have antibiotics and that have got those little magnets in them. So they want you to think that aliens are coming, and they're not. The truth of the matter is they're not called aliens. We shouldn't be calling them aliens. Okay, the word alien means like foreign, but they're our brethren. They came here first. They are the first evolution of the universe, and they were smart enough to figure out that you don't eat people, you don't kill children, you don't do bad things to animals and kids and old people, and you don't steal, and you don't do this and you don't do that, and you don't have wars. And when you don't do any of that stuff, you get to evolve out of needing a physical body, and you get to be a part of the greater consciousness, which is who my ancestors were originally communicating with. They're not tall and blonde, they're not green, they're not grey, they're not nothing. They're so highly evolved, they don't even need physical bodies. They don't even need spacecraft. To even think that they would need craft that had coloured lights on them is just insulting. They don't need, they travel through the wormholes which are connected to the human brain. It's a scientifically proven fact that the human brain, the mammalian brain, is connected to the conscious universe, and that the universe responds to human thought, to mammals thinking. It's a proven fact, and my ancestors knew that, but they couldn't quite figure out how they were going to let everybody else know that they knew that. So with the dendrolite and these little handbags and the vases and stuff, and the pyramids, with the chambers in the pyramids, it's all to do with the transference of sound and energy, because they were being taught how to turn the pyramids and like the dendrolite and that into healing light that was supposed to heal the world, heal people of sickness and illnesses and all of that. But my ancestors got run out of Egypt. Tesla got killed, blah, blah, blah. And at some point they all converged and said, let's make a Debbie. And then she can explain it all. All you need to do, see, because like the Council of Elders is made up of the people that we've loved and lost. Our ancestors, and the smartest of our ancestors who got it right, who had, when they died, they had no imperfections, which is why the Egyptians tried to do all that funerary stuff, because they were trying to make sure that they were able to pass through the eye of the needle, that they were able to slip through that portal between life and death, and have access to the afterworld without any baggage. So where they thought we were aliens or not, I don't know. Probably because, we have like Sobek, who's like a crocodile, Nile crocodile head and a dog head and blah, blah, blah. So maybe there was a misinterpretation, but we have nothing to do with aliens. We have nothing to do with reptiles or anything like that, other than the fact that some of them are our gods, and some of them were communicating with us to teach us how to heal the world. But then worlds started fighting each other to conquer each other's lands, and we started descending, and we're going backwards. We've got planets who used to have civilizations on them that are now just turning into big gas giants and all of that, because they're de-evolving. We're going backwards, and Earth is the last one left. And if we don't get off, we have no hope in hell of saving Earth. There's still a chance that we can save Papatūānuku, and she can be left alone to regrow and reheal. She's regenerative. She's still at a stage in her evolution where she's regenerative. She can still regenerate. She's never going to run out of gas. She's never going to run out of coal. As long as we keep planting trees and keeping the water clean and digging the oil and, releasing the gas, she's going to be completely fine. Climate change and net zero is killing her. So we need to get off this planet. And one of the things that I have been getting taught by the Council of Elders, who are also the smartest ones out there, who got off a long time ago, who aren't anywhere near us, they can go in and out of wormholes like it's nothing. All they have to do is think, and the universe opens up, which I now have access to. I can do that now. Which is why I can see everything coming, right? So because the universe is like my big crystal ball glass eye. So one of the things that they've been teaching me is with my gaming chair, which is going to revolutionise spaceflight. The military would be able to use it. It's going to change the way people do home entertainment, record videos, record albums, that sort of thing. So, like back in the old days when you used to have men like banging the cymbals and they'd blow the harmonica, Mary Poppins with Dick Van Dyke, and he's like bang his knees and bang the drums, and he was playing all those different instruments. That's kind of the meaner system. But one of the things that I want to do is I want to have a space program, because unlike Elon Musk and NASA and that, my rockets are fuelless. They're rechargeable, they're fuelless. Everything's made from recycled materials, and you can use the same launch pad over and over, but there's no combustible anything. So you're not poisoning the atmosphere, going up and down. It's a space navigation system rather than a rocket. And it can be controllable, with, I'd have to test the range and all of that, but one of the things that my ancestors was working on, that Leonardo da Vinci was kind of trying to work on, Leonardo da Vinci was kind of getting the idea, was for the space program. Because we know that we're not supposed to be here. Like, we're supposed to be getting off this planet. We're supposed to be, traversing, space is the final frontier for us. And after that, we get a whole new universe. We get to experience starting everything completely from scratch. We're already supposed to be evolved past the point of communication. We should be at the point now where we shouldn't even need to be talking using our mouths. We should be able to just communicate using telepathy. But it's only the people who are ascending, the ones that will be helping me get my space program up in the air. These kids, the freaks, geeks, nerds, dorks and weirdos, we're the ones that are here to make it all happen, and we're the ones that they're trying to shut down, silence, clone, take the blood off, do bad things to, because we're the rebels, but we're the rebel creators. We create out of rebellion. We create out of defiance. You're not going to tell me I can't be an artist. You're not going to tell me I can't sing. You're not going to, So what we build from that comes out of standing our ground, which is why I'm so offended by what Elon Musk just did, trying to steal my book. Enough is enough. So when it comes to aliens and spaceships and that, you need to completely rethink the way you see them, because they're not anything like we've been told. And people's myths and legends and fables and stories and all that I've been looking into around my local area and that, but they're all over the world. They're all part of experiments to see how far they could go, so that when they pull off Project Bluebeam, people will be more compliant. Like COVID was a test to see how compliant people would be. And if you believe Project Bluebeam, if you believe that aliens are here, you're not going to come back from the experience. So there's a lot of us trying to wake people up to say don't believe it, because basically what I was told many, many, many years ago was that they were going to pull off the alien invasion, Project Bluebeam thing at a time when they knew that their empire was crumbling, and it was going to be their last ditch effort attempt to try and gain control over man before we tip into the new world and out of the old, because there's a mass conscious awakening happening all over the planet now. I'm seeing it all the time, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's just been beautiful to watch. It's made me quite proud. I'm seeing people all over the world finally getting it. And so what's happening is people are starting to see the truth about Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Keir Starmer and all that, and turning their backs on Zelensky and von der Leyen, and people are going to start being held accountable. And it's really beautiful to see. That's us stepping into the new world as we step out of the matrix. So, yeah, so I'm going to go and have my dinner now. But when I get out of here, see, I'd love to go around and do some of these investigations into some of these stories. The Ziggy Adamski PC Godfrey one was like not even far from here. Yeah, I'd love to do them all, but you're not crazy. You are experiencing what you think you're experiencing, but it's not coming from where you think it's coming from. You're a test subject. You're being used as a test subject, basically, and it's the people who are susceptible to the Schumann resonance, and that's people who have been vaccinated, because they can, mess with you from the inside out. If you have any of their like Google watches or medical watches or rings, or things that can read your body temperature and read your sleep patterns and all that sort of thing, they're not good. They're all part of it. They'll be able to tell you to go out and do heinous things to people on the street, and you'll have zero control over it. They can make you have false memories. They can make you believe and think things that are absolutely not true, and you'll have no way of defending yourself. They can make you do things where you have no way of defending yourself, and the only way you can fix it is by raising your vibration, which is what my book was about. The Tale of Lucian's Dragon, Andre's Dragon, teaching you how to have ascension, like showing you the ascension process and how to survive it. Each kingdom in that book is all based on a different stage of ascension. And so I'm trying to wake people up, because the only way that you're going to be able to save yourself and save the kids and save the planet is if you see the truth of what it is you're actually dealing with. And one of the biggest lies you're being sold is the lie about aliens. And don't call them aliens. Call them either like the council of elders, or brethren, because they deserve our respect. They are so much more highly evolved than us. We are simians to them. They call us baby monkeys. That's how little we've evolved in the millions of years that we've been running around. We're supposed to be smarter than this, but we're too busy having wars so that we can have gold toilets, and thinking that we'll get more power if we hurt more children. I mean, really? we're still sending things into space that have to blow up in order to do it, wrapped in metal. They don't even need any of that sort of stuff. They just think and they're there. The little pearlescent see-through bubbles and stuff. You see them mostly by clouds and that when they're having peekaboo. The other thing is, there's a universal law that they're not allowed to interfere in anything that we do. They're only allowed to observe. They're not allowed to help us. We have to earn the right in order to have that connection with them. And as far as I know, there's only like a handful of people who have earned that right. And I know my bloodline is one of them. My father was in the army for over 34 years. He was the one that told me that Area 51 was a hoax, but he wanted to know why. he always reckoned it was because they needed an excuse to let people know that they'd invented like the microwave and all of that. So they needed to be able to, oh no, it was alien technology and this is where you got it from and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, my father's, every single time my parents had one of us kids, we were taken out at night. And my parents used to wait to see how they would react. Apparently, they used to just zoom past, but they stopped with my sister Laurie, who died when I was 18, and they went past and came back and stopped and looked at me apparently, and then they took off again. So yeah, so my father taught me to understand it in a completely different way, and because of that, it helped me understand my Egyptian ancestors better, which helped me decipher the codes. And it's just something, unfortunately, that Nikola Tesla wasn't able to do because he didn't have the keys. So, and because at that point he knew that he was making things for people that were using it for really bad purposes, and the guilt got to him. I had a dream last year, I think it was. It might have been this year. I'll try and find it. It's on my ex, where he was coming. He was coming to help me finish something, because he said he felt guilty that what he'd invented, to give away free energy, was being used to, hurt millions of people. And so he came to tell me something, and it helped me unlock one of my codes or algorithms or something. But yeah, my gaming chair, my space navigation system, my North Star space program with my North Star cadets, my observatory, and all of that, it's all going to be to do with this. And then the next generation, I'll be able to take us so far, and then the next generation of North Star cadets and that will take us the rest of the way. If we can stop killing each other long enough to keep our children alive, that is, because they're hell bent on making sure that they mess with fertility rates and who has the right to have kids and whether they get taken away or not. So we have to work quickly if we're going to do this, because they're we're on the brink of the break between two worlds, and the old world's about to die and the new world is being born now, and I'm sure as hell on the side of the new world. And then when we figure it out, then we will get to meet the real ones, because they're not allowed to interfere. There's the laws of the karmic universe. They're not allowed to. You're not allowed to interfere with evolution. Evolution, in its truest definition, is organic and biological self-advancement. We have to evolve biologically and organically, on our own, without any interruption or interference from any outside source. That's the true definition of evolution. And if they interfere with, our decisions and choices and stuff, then they're messing with our evolution. Like the butterfly effect. A lot of things can happen just by interfering in the one thing or making the wrong choice or decision. So yeah, so we have to be very careful, and they do not interfere. You will not see them here running around, while we're riddled with germs, and it's just not. But that's not what they want you to think, because they want to have control over what you think. They want you to get to a point where you're perfectly happy being told what to do, think, and feel, because then they can switch you on and off whenever they want. And you can't fight it. If they want to lock you up, they'll make you do things and you can't fight it. And they can blame it on all sorts: aliens, mental illness, medication, the parents, that sort of thing. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to learn you. So don't fall for it. Be smarter than that. And then when you figure it out, then you'll get to meet the real ones. And I promise you, they're awesome. You'll meet them in the ethers. So yeah, they're awesome. They're worth it, trust me. So I'm going to go and have my dinner now. I shall speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.